by night. On Wednesday, the UN said it was pulling out of Dili, leaving the refugees in the UN compound to the mercy of the militia. In silence, under cover of darkness, that night 1,000 escaped to the hills, still dreaming of an independent East Timor.
Yes, Timor-Leste.
But not everyone made it. The cameraman who secretly took these pictures saw 2 refugees bleed to death on the hillside, shot, he said, by Indonesian soldiers. Today, Indonesian soldiers prepared to escort UN staff to the airport. The evacuation was delayed 24 hours because UN workers wouldn't abandon people.
Explain. The first truck is out on the road.
Today, Timorese UN staff waited to be brought to Darwin. And some 80 foreigners, including the UNIMET chief Ian Martin, have stayed with the remaining refugees in the compound. The army was watching everything. They made the people lie down in trucks so they couldn't see much on the way to the airport. But it's clear that Dili is destroyed and still burning. 6 planes arrived in Darwin today, safe at last. But relief is tempered by worry. What will happen to the Timorese left behind?
Yeah, I was thinking to myself when we thought we were coming out, you know, all I'm facing is a hairy ride to the airport. They're probably facing death.
The one thing we did see a lot of was, though, young militiamen waving and cheering as we went by, and the soldiers waving back.
As the military systematically cleansed the capital Dili, so tens of thousands of refugees were put in batches and at gunpoint, forced by trucks and by boat to out of East Timor into West Timor.
Dili is dead. You can only save the people now with an army intervention.
The Timorese UN staff and their families were taken to a camp set up in a Darwin suburb. There's a large Timorese community here and they'll be welcome. Sometimes you don't cry until the danger's past. But as the Timorese in Darwin thought about their last week of terror, we learned that after they'd left, drunken militia entered the UN compound and looted vehicles. Back in Dili, the danger is far from over.
President Clinton accused the Indonesian military of participating in the violence in East Timor. He said the attacks on the UN compound in Dili were simply unacceptable. The president's written statement was released aboard Air Force One en route to New Zealand. He will join Asian leaders there for the annual Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Forum.